Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 4th episode of the Axis of Combat podcast. You already know who I am, who were the boss, who got next. You've seen the first 3 episodes, get it right. Joined by my co-host.
It's your boy Ray, a.k.a. Boogie Kahuna, a.k.a. Big Boogie, a.k.a. the B-O-O-G-I, even the Boogie Down, a.k.a. your boy.
And we got an exciting UFC 285 card to discuss. We're happy to be here with you guys today. But before we get there, we're going to discuss some of our picks from last weekend for UFC Vegas 70, Bellator 291, as well as some of our boxing bets. We own all of our wins, but we also don't run away from any of our losses here. Not the best betting night for me. Definitely a good betting night for my brother.
Just slightly better, but hey, we're here.
Well, listen, I hit 50%. I don't consider that great, but by most betting standards, apparently that's okay.
No, that's good, brother. That's good.
I'll take it, but the MMA, I had a losing night, so my older brother had a great night. So, but just to run them down, we both picked the Rolo Ali. We cashed on that via money line. Jordan Levitt money line, we cashed, and Asiel Aduj, who's on the Bellator card. A lot of you guys may not know him. We cashed on him as well. We lost on Charles Johnson. We also lost on Logan Storley. Logan Storley got dog walked. Did not expect that to happen. He fought Amosov. That fight was extremely competitive the first time they fought. And I did not expect him to dog walk him, especially since Amosov was involved in the Ukrainian war and fighting over there, not really training. It was very impressive on his part. He made Logan Storley look like he didn't belong in there with him. Charles Johnson, it was a close fight. Not mad at the decision. Ryan Spann got pushed, and I took a shot on the Tatiana Suarez fight via third round decision or finish. Via third round finish or decision. She stopped Montana in the second round, even though Montana did a good job defending herself in the first round. I think Montana just made bad decisions, but she also did complain about the equipment malfunction in terms of she thought one of her boobs was going to pop out. So, I definitely understand why why that happened and why that submission was applied. But good on Tatiana Suarez. I took a shot on Andre Muniz, missed on that one as well. And my brother actually took Brendan Allen that fight, which he cashed. So I did not think that was impressive. Andre Muniz made a lot of bad decisions in that fight, and Brendan Allen was probably the best version of himself. So
I agree.
I own that, and my brother took a bad shot on Dontel Mays, which, oh God, he's so terrible. I told you my lean was Sakai, but I stood away from that fight because he's just low level heavyweights, So, and a positive note though, we were brought back to life via boxing. We took a shot on the Puerto Rican guy. Do you recall his name?
Mateus.
Yeah.
Mateus? I think it's Matias.
Yeah. I didn't want to butcher it. It was Matias Sabriel.
No, it's Sabriel Matias.
Sabriel Matias.
Yeah, I think so. I think that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It's we cashed on him. Boricua. We seen him fight before. Very good at putting his punches together. And this fight was probably his best performance. Showed a granite chin, took a ton of volume, lured Ponce into a fight that he was not, ready for, and outgunned him in the gunfight, essentially. Knocked him out. Nasty stuff. A fight of the year candidate. I suggest you guys go back and watch it.
Great fight.
We also took a dog shot on Badu Jack. That cashed out beautifully. And we unfortunately missed on Jake Paul. Close fight. I also scored it for Tommy Fury. Not mad at it. That was Tommy's best performance. Up until that point, if you gave me the version of Tommy that was fighting up until that fight, I would have taken Jake Paul all day, which we did. And, I own it. I went 50% on all my bets, including boxing. I believe my brother went a little over 58%, which is really good. I think it's 58% because you hit a couple of good spots.
Well, I didn't do the math, but the Brendan Allen, the Brendan Allen money line came through. So you know what I'm saying.
What about that downtown Mays though?
Listen, we don't want to talk about. Listen, I said I wouldn't Dontel. I did it to myself. You and fool me once, shame on. How does it go? Fool me once, shame on me. No, shame on you.
Fool me twice, shame on me.
Twice, shame on me. And I deserved it. I said I wasn't there. I was never going to bet Dontel. Ended up betting Dontel again. I'm an idiot.
Well, I tell you what, fool you 3 times, kill yourself. So
in a video game.
But anyway, listen, overall decent night. My brother had a winning night. I had a 50-50 night, so it wasn't too bad with picks. But on to the next. UFC 285 is here. We have our first fight. Loik, I would not dare pronounce this man's name. I think you might have better luck.
Yeah, I got it. Hold on.
Go ahead.
First fight on, excuse me. First fight on the card is Loik Radzhabov, and he's going against Esteban Gringo. That's his nickname.
Oh, Jesus.
Ribovics. I had a hard name. Yeah, just hit me with it. Hit me again. One more time.
That's it.
Yeah, so Radzhabov, PFL vet, made it to the lightweight finals twice. Very experienced. Coming in last minute. This is like he's taking this fight on a week's notice because this isn't Esteban's original opponent. I don't know. This fight is actually tough to call, to be honest, because
yeah, it's very low level. I'm staying away from it. To be honest,
I wouldn't say low level, but it's
in terms of their technique. The technique is not.
Radzhabov kind of wants this fight on the ground. He's a grappler, but he's well rounded, but he's a grappler. Esteban, definitely a very good striker. Uses Kimuras whenever he's in trouble in the grappling, both as a tool to get up and as, he's got a couple of Kimura submissions. This fight basically comes down to who can implement what better, if I'm being honest. They both train with each other, which is a little weird. They both coming from Kill Cliff, if I remember correctly, but I don't have a good read on this one, if I'm being honest. I think if I had to pick, I'm leaning Ribovics because Radzhabov's kryptonite is leg kicks. That's what I noticed on tape when I was watching. I mean, that's how he lost both his PFL finals. That's all I really got on this one.
Yeah, no, I'm staying away from this fight. I feel like this is just a proven fight for me, like to determine whether or not I'm going to put hard-earned money on these boys. But I'll be watching this fight and learning a lot. I just think it's like a lower tier fight in terms of MMA. I think these guys are just getting their feet wet. They do train with each other, so there's a lot of variables that could carry over from training camp and this and that, but maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. This fight I'm definitely staying away from. I don't really have a pick in this fight. So on to the next one. We have Farid Basharat versus Damon Blackshear. What do you got for me for this fight?
Well, Farid, younger brother of David.
Ooh.
Farid's a very calculated, technical striker. I mean, just technical overall. His MMA game is very tight, very nice.
Good fighter.
Very good fighter. 9-0. I mean, he's the heavy favorite coming in, understandably. Blackshear, he's not so bad himself. I think Farid edges him when it comes to the striking. I think Blackshear could give him some trouble when it comes to the grappling. I'd lean Farid. I think Farid is just a better overall. The thing is, he's minus 450, 500. That's tough to get to. If I had to bet on this, I'm probably looking at the overs. Over 1.5, over 2.5. Maybe it goes to decision.
Yeah, over 2.5 right now, but standing at minus 175. That entices me. Yeah, that or just picking Basharat by decision.
Yeah, because a lot of Basharat's finishes, they're mostly by submission. I don't see him subbing Blackshear. I think Blackshear is a little too
underrated. Yeah, he's an underrated fighter
on the ground. I think if he keeps it standing, he could bop him up.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think I like the overs on this. I see Farid. I like Farid, but yeah.
No, I'm with you here. If I had to pick, it's probably gonna be on the over 2.5 at minus 175. But I feel like that's a little juice for a prop. Maybe Blackshear by decision. He is the better overall fighter. But the thing
not
is,
Blackshear, Basharat.
Oh, my apologies. So, my apologies, audience. Basharat is the better overall fighter. He does have he kind of stands like karate style. He kind of stands to the side. It's very hard to deal with his movement. His movement's really good finisher, good everywhere. But I don't see him packing up Blackshear. I don't see it. Blackshear's tough. He did gas in his last 2 fights, but those last 2 fights he took on last minute's notice. So now he has a full training camp against a guy who's really good. And I think the last 2 fights Blackshear took were against guys who kind of fight like Blackshear. Zalal, I think that was his name. He's a decent, Yusuf Zalal. He's a good striker, you know, not that good on the floor. That's where the difference is going to be on this fight. But I still believe Damon Blackshear, the full camp, can give Basharat some trouble. But if I had a lean, I might put some money on this later. And no definitive bet right now, but I'm probably going to go with Basharat via decision or the over 2.5 at minus 175. Hopefully it stays there so it doesn't get any more juiced. But I think that's where I'm going to lean. I don't know if you agree or disagree.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably look into like maybe the round starts round 2, maybe round starts round 3 around there. I think it's going to go over. I think this does go to decision. It could be split decision depending on how good Blackshear is.
Implement his game plan.
But I think Farid's the pick for sure. I think he wins this.
Yep.
And it's just betting him straight is too rough because that's too big of a number.
I agree. I don't think he should be. I think it's like minus 400. He's minus 450. I don't think he should be minus 450.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy. But regardless, anyway, moving on, we have Jessica Penne versus Tabatha Ricci. Very low level women's MMA fight. I'm gonna stay away from this fight, to be quite frank with you. This fight could go the distance. It could get finished, right? There's a lot of things to this fight. There's a lot of variables, and Tabatha is not really the most high IQ fighter. She makes a lot of bad decisions when she fights, and Jessica Penne is 40 years old. There's just too many variables in this fight for me to feel comfortable betting it. Like this one and the other women's fight that's coming up might be live bet spots, if I'm being honest with you. And I could see both fights going to split decision. So
you know what? That's not a bad.
Yeah,
I like the live bet angle. I do like that.
Yeah, Tabatha early, Jessica late. You know, and not even like it could go the other way around too. Like the other fight that we're gonna talk about is Viviane and Amanda, but when we get there, we'll get there. But too many variables in this fight for me to put my hard-earned money on it, and I'm gonna stay away from this one. I'm gonna live bet it for sure. If there's any spots where I can live bet, I'll live bet it.
Yeah, for people who want to take the dog shot on Penne, I guess I understand because this is grappler versus grappler, and you know, if you're gonna go grappler versus grappler, maybe the dog shot isn't terrible.
No,
because I don't think Penne is that bad. Ricci, I don't see her getting subbed or anything that crazy because I think her last fight was against Polyana Vienna, and she was able to survive all of that. And I think Polyana is a little more active off her back than Penne.
Right.
But so yeah, the overs are probably juiced.
Live bet me.
I think maybe live bet. I'm leaning Ricci. I do like Ricci.
If I had to pick, it's Ricci because she's a youth.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you, and Jessica will give up minutes on her back.
I think
she just will.
For me, at least the way I see it, I think she's just a smaller, younger Penne.
Oh, I won't go that far.
I mean,
but I get it.
That's the way I see it. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but I get it. Yeah,
you know, I think she's gonna be a little more. She has a little more of that juice. She's a little more active. I feel
absolutely.
Like, you know,
I agree with that. I agree there.
I think I want to lean to a little more the more explosive fighter. I feel like so.
Yeah, Jessica gives up minutes on her back too. So you know, she'll lay down, and you know, I can't. It's hard for me to put money on it. But anyway,
yeah.
Moving on, our next fight: Martinez versus Cameron Saaiman. Who do you got there? What do you like?
Cameron Saaiman looked good. Watching his Dana White contender series fight, it was impressive. I feel like, and then the other fight he fought against homeboy, I can't even remember his name. I got you right now. Steven Kozlov. Right. I mean, that was a back and forth grappling match. He was able to show a lot of his, you know, diversity there because in the contender series it was more of a striking match. This you got to see a lot of his grappling on display. I think I want to take a dog shot on Mana, but I'm not entirely sure yet. I'm still kind of like simmering on this bet. Mana, if you look at his regional footage, putting dudes to sleep. Like 5 minutes, out cold. They don't wake up until tomorrow. But ever since he's been in the UFC, it's been decision. I think before it was around his first fight. I don't know if it was before or after his first fight. His original trainer passed away. Ended up going to James Krause's camp for the next 2 fights.
James Krause is out.
And now we know what's going on with James Krause. He's out. So now this is going to be the third coach and 4 fights for him. I think if Mana just lets his hands go the way he looked in his regionals, I think there's a puncher's chance here because he can ice his opponents.
Hasn't done so on the UFC level yet, though.
No,
that's the problem. Yeah, hasn't done so on the UFC level.
I mean, I understand why Saaiman's the favorite, but I mean, minus 300, that's a little
crazy.
too much for a guy like that, you know?
That's crazy. Just like the Tabatha Ricci fight, she's minus 350, which is why we're not picking Tabatha Ricci or taking a shot at her.
Yeah.
You know, if she was lower numbers, I'd probably pick her, but you know, I'm not going to put minus 350 on 2 people that are not proven.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's crazy numbers, you know, like it is what it is. We'll definitely be getting into some parlays on this card, guys. Just so you know, because some of these spots are unbettable, but there is money to be made. So, but yeah, I like Cameron Saaiman in this fight. I don't know how. I'm not sure how I feel where to put money on him in this spot. That's something I'll definitely have to look further into because I can't find any spots where I think that it's plausible for me to put money on him.
Yeah, it's tough. I still don't know if this goes over or under. I mean, gun to the head, maybe over. Because, you know, both of these guys are pretty durable. But, man, if I knew Mana was going to come into this fight with his hands loose, because he's got very good boxing, I'd say the dog shot on Mana is probably worth it. But besides that, I don't know. I'm still kind of simmering on that.
Maybe Saaiman to finish, but not really. You know, because like he hasn't really proven anything yet.
Yeah.
You know, he's not a proven fighter. You know, and there's a big difference, and you've seen it with a lot of these Dana White Contender Series guys. They come up and they get starched once they get to the UFC level.
Yeah.
The only one who's gonna probably steamroll outside of Jamal Hill, and Jamal Hill got his arm dislocated by Paul Craig, so let's keep it real, is Bo Nickel on this card. I think Bo Nickel's probably going to annihilate Jamie Pickett bad, very bad. So, but regardless, going back to this fight, you know, I don't see a lot of spots where I'm willing to take a shot on Saaiman because his line is too juiced for a guy that's not proven. So,
yeah, and then, you know, he's only 22 years old too. He's super young.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. You know, 71% of his fights have ended in knockout, and on 14%, so 80. Technically, I could see the finish here because he's only had one fight go to decision.
Yeah.
Thing is, I don't know if I trust him because we don't know enough about him. Like we don't know enough about him on this level. So we'll see. I think I'm gonna wait on this. If I had to, it's probably gonna be. I'll take a shot on Saaiman at plus 132 finish, but not an official bet. That's a lean. We'll see what happens come closer to fight time.
I agree.
So, but moving on to the next fight, Ian Machado Garry versus Kenan Song. I feel like this is a premier fight for Ian Garry. Song doesn't really have much for him outside of landing a big shot.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I don't like any of these lines, if I'm being honest, because I feel like Ian Garry, people are picking him to finish. He should finish this guy, but he should have finished his last 3 opponents too, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Gabe Green's he's a tough dude.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about not Gabe Green. Sorry, so maybe not his last 3, his last 2.
Yeah.
His 2 of his last 3, he should have finished. Gabe Green is very durable, but the other 2 guys that he fought, and I'll pull them up for you right now, they shouldn't be, you know, he should have dispatched with them. Darian Weeks and Jordan Williams, a guy who's 6'3", they're pumping him like he's the next Conor McGregor. Don't get me wrong, he's a good fighter. I just don't think he's as good as the hype he's built for. I don't think he should be.
Yeah, I'm not officially on the train yet.
A minus 730.
I think it depends on how he looks in this fight, but I'm not officially on the Ian Garry. I think he should win. I feel like this is a setup fight for him. Like my brother said, all Kean really got for him is power. You know, a nice little left or right hook, but Ian Garry should be able to piece this guy up. I think Ian Garry should be able to finish Kenan Song, but
should be able to finish him on the floor too. Much more of a competent grappler than Kenan. So, yeah, you know, I don't know. I think him at minus 730 is crazy, but if I had to lean, it's probably going to be on him to finish. Not an official bet once again because he hasn't really finished anyone at this level.
I mean, Kenan Song's last fight was against Max Griffin. When Max Griffin flatlined him in the first round. And I think, as much as I don't like Ian Garry, I think Ian Garry's probably floor is Max Griffin. I think his floor is Max Griffin. So I think at least he should be able to get him out the same way.
Yeah. And my apologies, by the way. He stopped Jordan Williams, so I apologize. I retract that. But what I will say is, he should be able to pack this guy up, and I agree. Yeah. I just don't see. He hasn't shown it to me yet. I'm not officially on board with him. But if I had to lean, it's going to be on Ian Garry to finish this fight. He's definitely gonna win this fight. He will be a parlay piece mentioned later on this card. So
yes.
But now on to the next fight. We have Julian Marquez versus Marc-André Barriault. I like Marc-André a lot in this fight.
I do too.
I like him a lot.
I don't think. I mean, if this was like Julian Marquez from a couple years ago, then maybe. But I mean, I always thought Julian was a little bit overrated. If I'm being honest,
I agree.
He's a little too sloppy for my taste. He's a little too wild for my taste. I think Marc-André is he's a cleaner striker. He's more technical than Julian.
Right.
I think power for power, maybe Julian might have the edge, but I think Barriault's got some underrated power as well. I like Barriault. I think he's the small favorite. I think rightfully so. And I can't disagree, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I like Barriault here in the spot.
Yeah, to mirror what you said too. Like I think he is a little overrated. He doesn't have the best defense. He also doesn't make the best fight decisions. He is coming off of a vicious knockout from Gregory Rodriguez, where he kind of got knocked out twice in that fight, if I recall correctly. Like he kind of got knocked out, got back up, and then got flatlined again.
Yeah,
like
RoboCop bopped him up.
Bad. Beat him down. Mm-hmm. Like, it was, but that was what, almost 9 months ago. I'll trust his chin a little bit here, a little bit too. I'm also probably looking at the over as well too for this fight. I don't think the over is a bad bet because both of these guys are extremely durable, but we'll see. I think the bet is definitely Marc-André Barriault. I think I'm definitely going to commit to betting Marc-André on this fight.
I like Barriault. I mean, some people want to question his chin because he got knocked out by Chitty Bang Bang and Chukwuani, but like that's Chitty, man.
They can crack, man.
That guy's got mallets, and I think if I had to compare power, I think Marquez is strong, but I don't think he's got Chitty Bang Bang strong power. You see what I'm saying? So it's I agree. And he just got caught.
And Chitty's a much more technical striker.
Yes,
he just is. So I agree. Marc-André, you're on board as well too.
I agree.
Yeah, on to the next one. Viviane Araujo versus Amanda Ribas at 125. This is gonna be Amanda Ribas' second fight at 125. She's coming off a controversial loss to Caitlin Chukagian. That fight was very close. I thought it could have been scored either way. I know a lot of people thought Amanda won that fight, but what do you got for me for this fight?
This fight is tough, man. It's lined like as a pick'em. Yeah. I think rightfully so. I think this might be the hardest fight to pick.
I agree.
I mean, Amanda.
Live bet spot for me, by the way. This is a live bet fight.
Yeah, so but even live bet might get a little sticky too. I mean,
I'm comfortable not betting this fight, but if I can find the spot where I'm live betting it, I will live bet it.
Viviane is the bigger girl. Viviane is the stronger girl. I don't know if she's got the same output as Ribas, but she should, as long as her gas tank holds up. I think if I'm leaning anywhere, I think Viviane should probably win this. I've been going back and forth on this a lot because
Viviane early, Amanda late.
Yeah, Ribas is a dog too, man.
Yeah. And she's no slouch off her back, man. And her jiu-jitsu game is pretty good. Viviane early, Amanda late.
It's gonna be pretty interesting.
It's a live bet fight for me.
To see,
I'm not putting my money on this fight. It's too tight, too many variables.
Ribas likes to use her judo, but I don't know if she's gonna be able to judo towards Viviane.
Yeah, Vivi is a tank.
At least not in the beginning.
She's a tank, man. She's a tank. And then on top of that too, Vivi's also 36 years old. So
that's right.
Yeah, there's too many variables in this fight for me to bet on it.
I mean, this is Ribas' second fight at 125, right?
Yeah.
It's tough. If I'm leaning, I think I'm leaning out of Araujo, but it's like I said, I don't know. Live bet fight.
I
think it's a live bet fight.
Straight up, So, But anyway, on to the next fight. We have Derek Brunson versus Dricus Duplessis. Oof, I didn't want to butcher his name too bad either.
You actually nailed it.
Yes, he's South African. This is a great fight. I think Duplessis presents a lot of promise to Brunson. I think Brunson presents a lot of promise to Duplessis.
Yeah.
So I think my pick is going to be flat out. It's going to be Duplessis for this fight just because Brunson's been throwing around that retirement word.
Yeah.
He does gas earlier in fights. I also, and one thing I don't think anyone's mentioning, I don't think his ability to take a shot anymore is there. And Duplessis hits like a truck.
Yes.
So Brunson, in my opinion, has to be perfect for 15 minutes to win this fight.
Yeah.
He has to be perfect.
I agree with that, actually.
He has to be perfect. And if he doesn't knock him out, if he doesn't get him to the floor, he's going to get knocked out. It's just what it is. I actually like I believe Duplessis is minus 115 to finish. I believe I'm going to bet that. That's going to be my bet. I think Duplessis knocks him out. Either second round, even first round. Second round, I think he gets him out of there. I really do. I just do not trust Brunson's ability to take a shot anymore. Cannonier barely touched him the last fight. And I know it's Cannonier. Cannonier does hit hard, but he barely touched him and he wobbled him.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a wobble. It was off like a jab, right?
It was like off a jab, yeah.
And it wasn't a, don't get me wrong, Jared does hit hard, but it was like it was a shot that he couldn't recover from. He got to the next round, he was still hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like, he didn't really touch him, but I just think it's just years and years of Brunson getting knocked out. Unfortunately, I think it's caught up to him. I like Duplessis to knock him out.
It's going to be a test for Duplessis. Because, Brunson's wrestling is up there. And we never really seen Duplessis get tested the way Brunson's probably going to test him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I agree with you. I think Duplessis is just younger, faster, stronger. I think he clips him. I don't think, as much as it sucks because I like Brunson.
I like Brunson a lot.
I like Brunson.
Blonde Brunson.
And it sucks, but I think Duplessis is going to clean him out.
I think he's going to give him the Cannonier special. Blonde Brunson turning into Blood Brunson. You feel me?
Break out the red panties.
I'm going to cash that. You know what I'm saying? So you already know. I'm picking him to stop him. Yeah, I think that's where I'm leaning. But anyway, moving on to the next fight. We have Cody Garbrandt versus Trevin Jones. I know everything in every fiber of my being says I should pick Cody Garbrandt because he's the better fighter all around with the wrestling and the boxing. Yep. But I cannot trust his chin. I feel like Trevin Jones, I'm going to let this line sit and I might take a nice dog gamble on him. I think it's a pick 'em at this point, but they're both. Trevin Jones is probably the least fighter, the wackest fighter that Cody Garbrandt's fought in a while.
Yes.
Cody Garbrandt was the champion. But I just don't see, it's hard for me to put money on a guy whose chin is that sus. And it's not only his chin, it's his defensive decisions. It's his decision making where he's just sitting on the center line to get hit by like a Kai Kara France right down the pipe.
I think Garbrandt's too much in his own head, if I'm being honest, because in that Kai Kara France fight, he was so worried about getting hit in the chin that he was just literally dancing around the ring the whole time until Kai Kara caught him.
Yeah.
It's man. Maybe
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to give you guys a pick on this fight. But the under a round and a half is plus 105, which I don't know. I don't know.
I think it might go over. I think a sneaky play for this is the over
because they don't throw a lot of volume.
Yeah,
either one of them.
They're both very low volume.
Low volume. But I'm gonna wait to give you guys a pick on this one. I can't put my hard-on money on Cody Garbrandt. I'm sorry, man.
It's tough. It sucks because I think you're right. I think he's better than Trevin Jones in literally every aspect of MMA. The only problem is that Cody's chin is cooked.
Suspect, man.
It's cooked. And the only thing Trevin Jones got going for him is his power.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you want to take the dog shot on Jones, it's understandable. I don't know if I'm there yet.
Me either.
Because it's just tough to pick against somebody who you know is better than him in every other spot. But at the same time,
there's a cuttable fight for both gentlemen. So
there's some love for Cody over here, but ain't no love for Cody. I don't know, man. It's rough.
I agree. But anyway, that fight, we'll wait to give you guys a pick. But anyway, moving on to the next fight, we have Jamie Pickett going against Bo Nickel. This fight is practically unbettable. Bo's going to win this fight however he wants to.
He got Kayla Harrison numbers, boy.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's going to win this fight however he wants to. If you want to take a shot at maybe on him via sub, I think it's like minus 150. But I can't guarantee he's going to sub him. He might just pull him down to the floor and knock him and ground and pound him.
Just beat him up.
Him up. Jamie Pickett does not throw enough volume in this fight for me to have any confidence in him winning this fight. And Bo Nickel is arguably the greatest collegiate wrestler of all time. Arguably. And he's heavy-handed. He murked those two dudes on the Contender Series with relative ease. Bo Nickel's going to win this fight. It's just how. If I find another spot to bet this for you guys, it's just like the Tatiana Suarez situation. If I can find a spot where I feel comfortable betting this, I'll let you guys know. But
it's tough. All the lines are blown.
Bo Nickel by execution.
Yeah.
Pack him up.
I mean, Pickett's been knocked out twice. He's been subbed 3 times. Bo by demolition, I feel like.
Demolition, man. He's gonna bulldoze him bad.
There's just no way to bet it. There's just no way to bet it because I feel like the first round props are blown up. His sub prop is blown up.
This might be the first fight where I take a shot in a while on the under half a round.
Yeah, maybe, and that's probably blown up as well.
It's probably blown up as well, man. So yeah, Bo Nickel by execution. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on social media platforms, and we'll definitely let you guys know where we're going with that because we got to find money for you guys.
Yeah, I mean. Just quickly, I think maybe the under round and a half as a parlay piece. I think that's probably a really nice parlay piece. But besides that, to bet this any other way, I don't know. It's kind of tough.
Not even. I would just put Bo. If you want to make a parlay, I would say Bo. I like.
Yeah, Bo straight though.
Ian Garry.
No, you can't do Bo straight.
I mean, if you're parlaying it,
minus 22.
He's minus 22.
He's minus something.
Oh, that's crazy.
Like I said, Kayla Harrison numbers, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, these guys. I mean, listen, if you could squeeze him in and it lowers it somewhat, he's assured, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Him and Ian Garry on a parlay is beautiful, and then I think
maybe even Basharat, if I'm being honest,
and Basharat as well. I think those 3 are parlayable, as well as Shavkat Rakhmonov, who we're going to be talking about in a few after our next fight. But
yeah,
enough of the demolition. On to the next fight. We have Matthias Gamrot versus Jalen Turner. This fight's scary. Because Gamrot is the better wrestler.
Yep.
He doesn't have. I know people say he has a lot of good open mat wrestling, but he's a good open mat wrestler. He's not a great open mat wrestler, in my opinion.
I think he's a great single leg wrestler.
Yes.
Because he grabs that single leg and he has so many ways of like taking you down with it or like, opening other stuff up with that single leg.
Yeah.
He's very good at the single leg.
I tell you what though, this might be my first dog of the night that I'm going to take a shot on because Jalen Turner's almost plus 185. He's 6'3", and I understand like the grappling acumen of Gamrot, but I will say that Gamrot, if you've ever wrestled with a guy who is significantly tall and lanky, they are extremely difficult to get to the mat.
Yeah.
You almost have to pick them up and slam them and make sure you sweep their legs on the way up or on the way down to put them in an angle to throw them down. Or just blast double them and just run them to the floor. But the thing is, when you deal with a lanky guy like that, they are so difficult to deal with in the grappling exchanges. And Jalen is by far the bigger puncher. When he touches people, they go to sleep.
Yeah, he's very dangerous.
They go to sleep or they get extremely hurt. So,
and another thing we're not really talking about here is that Gamrot, he's kind of a last minute step in. I don't know. I think it's been about 2-3 weeks. The original opponent is supposed to be Dan Hooker.
Oh yeah, that's a great fight.
Gamrot's getting off the couch for this one. I mean, probably not getting off the couch. I'm sure Gamrot stays in shape. He wouldn't have taken this fight if he wasn't in shape. But there's another factor. He wasn't the original opponent, so he is taking this short notice. So not with a full training camp either. And
listen, I know he's 1-1 in his last 2, but I think he's 0-2 because I thought Arman Sarukian beat him, and
yeah.
I just think the value of Jalen Turner at this high of dog money, he's good, man. He has a slick submission game too. He can get submissions. He's not submitting Gamrot, but the threat of the submission will probably help him be able to get back to his feet. I think I might be taking a dog shot on Jalen Turner in this fight. I really do. I think at plus 185, he's probably going to be plus 200 by fight night. I'm willing to take a dog shot on him. I think I'm going to take a dog shot on him.
I don't know if I'm there.
Not an official bet, but I'm leaning that way. Heavy.
I don't blame you.
He gets a plus 200, I'm definitely going to bet him.
I don't know if I'm there yet.
Yeah, I understand. But I definitely get it. Garbrandt should win this fight.
I might get there. But
he should win this fight. The thing is, I think Jalen can knock him out. I really do. Like, Jalen is, the way he touched Brad Riddell, I know it's Brad Riddell, but he touched Brad, and Brad was like on Queer Street for the rest of that fight before he subbed him, man. It was nasty. But yeah, I'm leaning Jalen Turner. You're probably leaning Garbrandt. No official bets for this fight, but I'm leaning Jalen Turner heavy here. But anyway, moving on to the next fight, we have Jeff Neal versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. Ladies and gentlemen, Shavkat Rakhmonov is here. He is no longer an up-and-comer. He is a contender after beating Neil Magny and stopping him with relative ease. Shavkat should win this fight via late round stoppage or decision, in my opinion. He is not going to dog walk Jeff Neal, in my opinion.
No.
I like the over round and a half of this fight. I believe it's at a reasonable number. I'm going to check with you guys right now. Yeah, the over a round and a half is at minus 150. That will be my bet for this fight. I'm gonna commit to that bet.
I think so. I think Jeff Neal's got enough where, like I agree with you. I don't think he's gonna get dog walked. I think if there is a finish, late second round. So I think it just clears that over round and a half.
I agree.
Third round, I think there's a finish possibility. I'm with you. I'm with Rakhmonov here.
He's a beast, man.
Dude is a monster.
He's Khamzat Chimaev, but not talkative.
Yeah,
he's working his way through the ranks the proper way and the hard way. But him and Khamzat Chimaev in the future is going to be a banger of a fight because they got to fight at some point. They're both young. They're both the new wave of MMA coming into this division. Shavkat also has and just to give you a little more detail to why I think this fight is going to be competitive, at least a round and a half.
Yeah, at least for the first round and a half.
Shavkat has really good counterpunching.
Yeah.
Really good counterpunching. Has really good timing. But he is fighting a guy, in my opinion, that has better boxing than him. I think Jeff has better hands than him. However, the X factor in this fight is going to be the grappling. It's going to be the grappling. It's going to be the counterpunching to set up the grappling. And it's going to be the wrestling. And I think Shavkat's got him in all three of those categories. But the thing is, the way Jeff Neal sets up his shots, angles, very defensively responsible. The problem is he's had bad losses, but those bad losses were coming off of, I think he has an immune disease, if I'm correct.
Oh, I don't recall.
But he has issues with weight cutting. He has diabetes. That's what it is. I think he has diabetes.
Okay.
Which is insane. So that's why when he cuts weight, he has issues with his blood sugar and things of that nature, which leans me more to Shavkat. I like Shavkat here. And by the way, Jeff Neal, I apologize if I'm spewing any falsehoods here. If you don't have diabetes, I apologize. I take it back. But I'm pretty sure I read that he does have diabetes, which is why he's had issues with weight cutting before. But regardless, I like Shavkat in this fight. He is the better all-around fighter. He is a monster on top. And I like him. I like the over a round and a half in this fight. I think Jeff Neal is a competent fighter and he will be able to survive. And my brother agrees with that as well.
Yeah. I like the over 1.5. And if like I said, leaning Rakhmonov, I think Rakhmonov late second round finish.
I agree.
I think that's what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Late second, early third.
Yeah, he's not dog walking Neal by any sense. Neal's not a bum.
Maybe submission.
Yeah, Neal is not a bum. That much I will tell you. But on to the next fight, we have a Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso. This fight, unbettable as well, too, for the most part. But what I will say is that I'm looking into it. I'm looking at it right now. I like the rounds in this fight. I think the fact that people think that Alexa's going to get dog walked in this fight. I think this fight has all the capabilities of being extremely competitive.
Yes.
Unless you're getting Grasso to her back, I don't see you dominating her. I don't. And I seen what MMA media is kind of doing and what these odds are kind of doing it. They're making it seem like Valentina has great open mat wrestling. She does not have great open mat wrestling. She has great wrestling when she's in the clinch. And Alexa is pretty good at controlling distance. Actually pretty good. I can see her giving Valentina some fits in some situations.
Frustrating her.
Yeah.
100%.
I do not see Alexa getting dog walked in this fight. I think this line is completely blown out. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right to bet. I don't think this fight should be a minus 600 or minus 700, whatever Valentina is. I think that's absurd. What do you got for me in this fight? I feel like I'm definitely talking too much, but
I think Grasso could 100% frustrate her standing up because Grasso, she moves left and right.
Yeah.
And she throws in volume. I was looking into
over 2.5 looks good.
Yeah.
Minus 145.
I like the over 2.5.
That's my bet. I'm gonna make that bet. I'm gonna commit.
Over 1.5, over 2.5, maybe even over 3.5, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a finish.
Yeah, that's the other thing. The MMA media is making Valentina to be some prolific finisher,
and she really isn't.
She isn't, and it's not to shit on her. It's just what it is. She's the GOAT flyweight fighter in the female division. She is very good, but she is only finishing girls that put themselves in danger to be finished. And I thought she lost the Talia fight.
If I give you a question right now, right? Mm-hmm. How many times do you think Shevchenko has thrown over 100 punches? I could answer that for you right now.
In her title reign or overall?
We'll say title reign.
Probably on the title reign, only the Lauren Murphy fight, maybe.
Nope.
None?
96 punches. She hasn't thrown over 100 punches in any of her fights.
What about Alexa?
Alexa, 150 her last fight, I think.
Yeah. She's
got volume.
And that was against JoJo Calderwood, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wait, was it against JoJo?
Let me check. Yeah, I'll find out right now for us.
She subbed JoJo.
Yeah, she subbed her. But yeah, if you want the real, I think Alexa's the better grappler here. She may not be the stronger grappler, but she's the more technical grappler.
I would, maybe not.
Viviane Araujo.
Araujo,
yeah. Who's a tank, so.
I don't know if she's the better grappler, but I think her grappling is very underrated. You've seen, she subbed, again, Calderwood, but, it's not, I think it's less about how impressive that wasn't and more about she's got this in her back pocket now.
Yeah.
She put that on display. She's letting people know, I got a ground game here. I got a sub game here. Every time I watch Alexa Grasso fight, constant improvement.
Yeah.
I think she's good. I think she's very good. I can see this fight going. Listen, maybe I'm crazy.
I like the rounds here, man.
Maybe I'm crazy, but I
like the rounds.
I can see this going to decision. I can see this going to split decision.
Yeah. How crazy is that? No, I'm with you. I think her boxing is very underrated.
And maybe
it's very underrated. And Valentina is not taking her down unless she's in the clinch.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
She's going to force Valentina to throw in this fight. Or force Valentina to try to wrestle her because Grasso's output on the hands is going to be a problem.
I agree. I agree 100%. I think this fight, I know people are like, oh, well, this is going to be a I thought you forgot fight for Valentina. I think Valentina's 34, 35 years old. She's coming out of her prime. Alexa's young, kind of the new wave of MMA coming in. I could see a split. I'm leaning Valentina to win this fight, but I think this fight's going to be very competitive. I have a feeling it's going to be very competitive.
I'm very tempted to take Alexa Grasso dog money.
I'm not mad.
Very tempted.
And yet, because what is she, like a minus 400?
I think people are overlooking.
She's a plus 550. I might join you there.
Yeah.
My lean is probably going to be Valentina, but my bet might be on Grasso just because I think the line is so disrespectful.
Yeah. Because I don't.
She's not plus 550. She's not a plus 550 dog.
And Shevchenko is not a minus 800 favorite.
No.
Because to be minus 800, that means to be minus 800 means she's going to have to straight up destroy Alexa Grasso, and I don't see that happening.
No, she's not doing that.
I do not see that happening.
I don't see Alexa and that's the thing. What is, and the reason why I say she's the better, more technical grappler, you want the real. What does Valentina really work for when she's on the floor? She works for the crucifix.
Yeah.
That's about it. I know I think she subbed Julian off her back, which I thought was impressive, but she was expecting that. It was the game plan for that fight. If she was so good of a grappler, she would have been able to deal with Talia Santos a little better.
Yeah.
And she didn't. Talia kind of made her look silly. and I don't think that was a blip. I think that's the situation. That's the issue that that's Valentina's probably weak spot.
Yeah.
That's probably where you're going to exploit her. Now, will Alexa wrestle her? No. But Alexa is not going to be incompetent on the floor.
Yeah, she'll be competent enough to fend her off or throw up some submissions.
And get up.
Yep.
And she does not get tired.
No.
Doesn't get tired.
No.
You know, so
and it's gonna be a good fight. I think this is a very good fight that people are kind of overlooking because they think it's
dog walking.
Yeah, and it's not gonna be that.
Hell no. And then they'd be like, oh yeah, well Alexa Grasso got taken down by Carla Esparza. Dude, she was depleting her body to make 115, and Carla Esparza is a way better open mat wrestler than both of these girls.
Yes,
especially at her peak, the way she used to shoot her shots and the way she used to time her shots. Carla Esparza is no joke with her open mat wrestling. So. I like this fight. I like the over 2.5 in this spot. Even the minus over 3.5, I might take a shot on as well. This will not be a dog walk-in. I could see this fight being very competitive. Or like Alexa wins 1 round and Valentina wins 4 or 2 or 3. It can go so many different ways, but I do not think Alexa's getting dog walked in this fight. Valentina's not going to be a minus 750 favorite. Yeah. Like in terms of value, that's not happening.
The over 1 and the over 2, I definitely like.
Yeah, if she's not getting the body lock, she's not getting her to the floor. Yeah. I'm telling you, like, when have you seen Valentina shoot? Does she have good entries?
Yeah.
Not really. And if she was such a good grappler, why couldn't she deal with Talia Santos? And yeah, Talia's big and this and that, and, she has a good jiu-jitsu game, but I just don't see that happening with Alexa Grasso. Alexa's also locking up submissions. I know it was Jojo Calderwood, but it was impressive how she kind of took her back, and it was quick, almost like it was instinctual.
She should be able to get Grasso down because I don't think Grasso is as strong as Talia. But I don't see Grasso staying down.
No, I don't see it either.
You see it? This is a good fight.
Yeah, I like the over on the rounds.
Yeah, over 1.5, over 2.5.
Oh no, 1.5. I think is like minus 225.
I mean, that's a good parlay piece.
I think
it's a very good parlay piece.
Yes, I agree. So right now for the parlay, we have Ian Garry, Bo Nickel. I maybe not because Bo's so juiced that it may not help the parlay at all.
I think the under 1.5 for the Bo fight.
I don't know.
Depending on how juiced that is. I mean, again, you parlay it. You know, nice little 2-leg.
I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to bet on that. I can bet on him to win.
Yeah.
I can't bet on the minus 1.5 because he hasn't really shown it in the UFC, even though he should dog walk him. But who knows? We've seen a lot of guys that should have dog walked a whole bunch of people, didn't do it. But you know what? Maybe not. That will be released shortly. And then we have the other guy that we're going to put on the parlay, a Basharat, as well as who's other homeboy? Shakov Rachmanov. I think that's a great parlay. Ian Garry, Shakov Rachmanov.
A fat, chalky parlay. Don't choke on the chalk, baby, because it's a lot of big numbers there. But I mean,
Basharat and Ian Garry.
Yeah,
those 4. I think I think it's 4 I mentioned there, right?
Basharat, Ian Garry, Shavkat, and that's 3.
That's 3, right?
Wait, Bo? Wait, you said Bo?
Yeah, Bo. That's a nice 4-leg parlay right there. I think that hits. That I'm pretty sure. I feel very confident that hits. But yeah, I don't. I think that's a good. And listen, even those 3 alone are a good parlay piece. I have to see what the numbers line up to, but those 3 alone, Ian Garry, Basharat, and Shavkat Rachmanov, that's a great parlay, 3-leg parlay. I don't know what the odds come out to, but if it's plus money, you bet it. That they're gonna win their fights.
It probably won't be plus money, but
yeah, I'm curious. I'm gonna do it.
It might be small minus money if I'm being honest.
Yeah, no, 100%. I like that, but we'll check. Let me see. 1, 2, yeah. Jalen Turner, I think is gonna be he might be my dog pick, man. I like him a lot.
I think this Grasso Shevchenko fight could be fight of the night.
No question. I think people are just sleeping on Grasso and her development. She got taken down by Carla Esparza. That was like 3 years ago, man.
It was Carla Esparza.
Dude, great open mat wrestler.
Yeah.
Great open mat wrestler. Unlike Valentina Shevchenko, by the way, who is not a great open mat wrestler. Just get you to the floor and, essentially get you to the floor via clinch and body lock. So, yeah, I like that fight, the over 2.5 and over 3.5, arguably. But over 2.5 is the bet I will be making. Now, On to the main event.
Who?
Definitely not a who. Definitely not a who. But on to the main event.
Don't disrespect.
We have the GOAT, Jon Jones versus Ciryl Gane. What do you have for me for this fight?
Well, wait, hold on. I thought the GOAT was Alexander Volkanovski. That's what everybody's talking about, right? The GOAT. The pound for pound. Ugh. Psych. Nah, listen, Jon Jones is the GOAT.
Yeah. Greatest
picograms and everything.
Greatest fighter ever. And I know people are gonna give him shit about like the steroid situation, but if you want the real, everybody at that time was taking it, man.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it real. I know people are gonna say, this and that, and like Nick and Nate Diaz said, everyone's on steroids, and they weren't kidding. Everyone at that time was on gear, man. So I don't want to hear anything about, Jon Jones was on gear and this and that and all that extra nonsense. Regardless, he was the best. You take away all of that, he's still the best fighter ever.
Listen, hot take.
Ever.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, bro. Some real Bronx shit right there. That's all I'm saying. You ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah, no, I think he's I think there's a lot to dissect with this fight. Ciryl Gane can definitely give him a lot of different looks. John's been saying that this is not the best striker he's fought. That's false.
That's cap.
This is the best. This is definitely the best striker that he's fought.
I think so.
That he's gonna fight, rather piss fought is past tense. But anyway, I like Jon Jones in this fight, man. And
it's tough not to like Jon Jones.
Yeah, you're gonna lose your money. Bet on greatness.
Yeah,
and there's a couple of things, and I'll let you go, and then I'll get to the couple of things why I think you should be committing to Jon Jones. But you can go. Whatever else you got for me?
I mean, listen, man. Jon Jones got a lot of question marks, man. I mean, he's been off for 3 years. People are questioning his will to fight anymore. Like if he's even got that kind of motivation. I think he does. I think fighting at heavyweight is a new challenge for him. People want to say, it was a close fight against Dom Reyes, a close fight against Thiago Santos. I feel like he wasn't getting enough of those fights.
Right. I
feel like after the Cormier fight, those other guys weren't bringing the fight to him, So I just like Jon Jones here. I do. It's hard to.
Ciryl definitely has a path to victory in this fight, right?
100%.
He does.
100%.
He does. But now I will definitely piggyback off of what you said. There's a couple of reasons why I know there's a lot of questions for Jon heading into this fight. I don't disagree with any of them. But what I do want to talk about is what is known. This man's fight IQ is going to be there.
Yes. One of the smartest fighters in the UFC, 100%.
He is the only guy, and I know they're saying that this is going to be a foot battle. Jon Jones is the superior wrestler here. By a landslide. From a technical standpoint,
yes,
he is the better wrestler. There's don't you give me a crazy face there. Stop.
Because I have to think about it. Because for me, Jon Jones, I think he's a little overrated as an offensive wrestler, but defensively, he's very good. And he's not your traditional wrestler.
He works really well against the cage.
Yes.
And I think he can put Ciryl in situations where he gets there. Now, here's the other thing that I do know. Ciryl does use his I know they're talking about the foot battle where it's going to be like the teeps to the knee and the teeps to the body, and that's going to be a kind of battle of what it is.
Yeah.
What the difference between Jon and Ciryl in that case? Ciryl uses it only offensively. Jon Jones uses that teep kick to the oblique muscle defensively. Mm-hmm. He's the only guy of MMA I've ever seen do that. He'll go backwards and use it like a jab to just keep you at bay. Limit his movement. I could also see him going to Cyryl's legs in this fight.
Yeah.
Jon kicks extremely hard. Ciryl does too, but Ciryl is not the most prolific finisher at an elite level, Mm-hmm. And I do agree with you where people are like, oh, well, Dom Reyes, I thought he lost the Dom Reyes fight. I will go there. But I don't think he got up for those fights. I don't think he felt motivated. I don't think he felt scared. And
I agree.
A guy who was not prepared coming off the couch still beat the elite of the elite in that weight class. Mm-hmm. With just his mind, his pressure, his volume, his understanding of where to be and where not to be. He is the GOAT. And I know people are saying, okay, he's coming off I think a 3-year layoff.
3 years, yeah.
We had the same, and we had the same thing for guess who? GSP.
True.
GSP coming off a 4-year layoff to fight Michael Bisping. I understand you cannot compare apples to oranges with Michael Bisping and Cyril Gane here. But
this is literally a goat-to-goat comparison.
It's a goat-to-goat comparison.
Yeah.
I think when you were that great, ring rust is non-existent to you. And I don't think he's going to have ring rust. That question is already answered for me. Because GSP, when he came back, he looked like he never left.
True.
And he stopped Michael in a higher weight class.
True.
After getting dropped in that fight, by the way, too. Not dropped. He got elbowed to hell on the floor.
Yeah.
Then he come back, drops Michael Bisping with a left hook. I know it was on his blind side because Mike only got one eye, but he stopped him. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he exploited the one area where Michael was weak at. I feel like John Jones, I know they're saying the Valentina fight is going to be a thought you forgot fight. I don't think that's going to be a thought you forgot fight. I think that fight's going to be competitive. I think this fight, arguably, with John Jones and Cyril Gane is going to be I thought you forgot fight. I really do.
Yeah, I must have forgot.
Listen, I don't think it's going to be easy. It could be a sweaty decision.
Yeah, because it's not like John Jones has got, even at lightweight, never really had that one-hitter quitter. You know what I'm saying?
No, but his intelligence level in terms of figuring out how to beat you.
And take people apart.
He might lose the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
But you know what? I could see him getting Cyril to the floor and elbowing him to hell, or getting Cyril on the transition when they scramble back up and catching his neck on the way up, either for a guillotine or a rear naked choke. There's just more paths to victory for John Jones to win this fight, and John Jones can win the kickboxing battle too. As good as Cyril is as a kickboxer and as light as he is on his feet, John Jones can exploit some areas because John Jones is extremely long, does have the reach advantage, and knows how to use every inch of that reach from his leg length to his arm length.
And historically, he's hard to hit clean.
Very hard to hit clean. Yeah. Rolls with his punches, has a granite chin, and Cyril is not the biggest puncher at that weight class. John Jones is not getting hit. John Jones is not getting hit kicked by Cyril Gane. I'm telling you right now.
It's still heavyweight though, so you have to take that into fact.
Yeah.
We're going to see how John Jones takes a heavyweight hit. I think he does take a hit good.
Yeah, I think he does too. And I think he might hit harder at this weight class because he's not depleting his body to make 205.
True.
It's the same thing with DC. Even though I think DC style translates better to heavyweight, because if he was fighting Cyril Gane at 38 years old, who are you taking in that fight with DC?
Oh, DC
probably messes him up, man.
Yeah.
Bad with the grappling. One thing DC said about John in their fight, John Jones is surprisingly strong.
Yeah.
And you've seen what DC was able to do to not only Derek Lewis, but to Stipe Miocic. He picked up and hoisted Stipe Miocic in their fight, picked him up.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that to John Jones. Could he do it to Cyril Gane? Probably not. But there's a good possibility he can, because Cyril's understanding of defensive wrestling is just not on the level of like John Jones.
I agree.
It's just not. So I know there's a lot of variables coming into this fight about John.
A lot of questions.
100%.
Understandable.
But there are a lot of things that I will bet on. Bet on. This guy right now, I think John Jones is a minus 160. That's as low as you're going to get him. Ever. In my opinion, at this weight class.
Yeah.
The only guy that can beat John Jones at this weight class, in my opinion, is Curtis Blades. Yeah. The only guy. And this is the thing, when Curtis Blades opened up as a plus 200 against him, I thought that was insanity.
Yeah.
Because John Jones, Curtis is essentially a bigger version of him. The folk style wrestling, I think he was a JUCO national champion. Mm-hmm. If I'm correct, I think John Jones is a JUCO national champion too. And Curtis is a bigger version of him. 265 does not get tired with the grappling. Competent grappler can elbow you to hell on the floor. And if we're being honest, he's probably the bigger puncher because he's just a bigger man. You know, if they went jab for jab, John Jones would probably back up first.
Yeah.
And just for future bettors, and future reference, if John Jones and Curtis Blades get paired up, I will be picking Curtis Blades to win that fight. But not today. Today is John Jones. John Jones is going to win this fight. It's probably going to be a late stoppage or a decision. But I think he's going to stop him. I think he's going to put a lot of doubt away. I think he wants his heavyweight title to solidify his legacy. And I think he's going to come into this fight with full intentions to stop this fight. as well too. And to cap this all off, I do believe in UFC matchmaking.
Yeah.
I think, and not even think, I feel that the UFC set this fight up, and not with Curtis Blaydes, who in my opinion is the rightful number one contender, but they set this fight up to move past the Francis narrative. They are not going to be pleased if the guy that Francis beat with one leg wins this fight. I'm just being honest. They want to push Jon Jones into the spotlight to hurry along the narrative that Francis has left the company. Now, can you bet on that? No, but I don't think UFC matchmaking makes this fight without that in mind. I really don't. Because if they want, technically, it should be Curtis Blaydes competing for this belt. He's done more work in the division. I mean, I understand the Aspinall fight didn't go the way you would want it to go. It ended with Aspinall hurting himself. But Curtis Blaydes is the nightmare in this division for Jon Jones. He is by far the toughest fight, in my opinion. And I think they set him up with Cyril for a reason. I really do. I think they are banking on Jon Jones beating Cyril Gane. And guess what? So will I. So I will be cashing out on Jon Jones. I will probably be putting not a good amount of money, but a decent sized amount of money on him to win this fight. Even if he drops the first 2 rounds, that just incites me to put more money on him mid-fight. I might even just wait to do that.
Yeah.
And I think Jon Jones, if I had to lean, Jon Jones is going to lean. I mean, the bet. He's a bet. He's getting my money. If I had to lean, probably 3rd or 4th round stoppage.
How do you feel about the overs?
How are the overs in terms of betting?
Don't know.
Let me check right now. I got you right now, gentlemen. But sorry, that was a very long-winded rant. But I do believe,
hey man,
everything was warranted there to be said.
Because I was gonna let you rock, brother.
Yeah, you know,
get it off your chest.
This guy, you know, everyone's like, oh, this and that. I can't. And the thing is, Cyril kind of got exposed his last fight for bad fight IQ. Went for a heel hook on Francis when he could have just laid on him and dealt with the top position. But
yeah.
You know, you're gonna go get for a heel hook on Jon Jones. Good luck to that, man. He's gonna get on top of you and he's gonna smash you. You know, Cyril's not he's not an incompetent grappler. He's just not at the level of Jon.
I think you got to give Cyril a little credit. I mean, not a little credit, but a little leeway. Only because I feel like the last thing he expected Ngannou to do was wrestle him.
Yeah, but here's the thing too. He threw a high kick, and by the way, how Jon gets him to the floor. If he does not get Cyril to the floor, right, via clinch against the cage, he will be catching his kicks this fight. I think that's going to be his path to victory. I know people are like, oh, he's not a great open mat wrestler. I agree with you. I don't think he's a great open mat wrestler, but how he gets this fight to the floor, he's going to catch one of Cyril's kicks, and he's going to get him to the floor and smash him. I really do. And it might be a repetitive takedown thing. And the thing is, after the 4th round, when Cyril got taken down with the wrestling exchanges, he was against Francis Ngannou.
True.
You know? And don't get me wrong, I think Francis, a big part of him holding him down was weight. But I also think Francis showed that he had better technical application with the sweeps to get Cyril off of him and to get on top of Cyril. You think you're going to be able to hold down Jon Jones? Or if Jon Jones Jon Jones could jump guard and just get on top of you. He could do that too. On some wild, I don't think he'll do it because it's not his style, but I do think he trusts his wrestling. I think he can lock his hands against the cage from certain angles because he's so long. I think he's going to give Cyril. Jon Jones has way more paths to win this fight because he can win it standing with the elbows in the clinch, but he can definitively win this fight with the wrestling. Jon Jones is my bet. Jon Jones, I believe, will win this fight.
I think you're talking me onto Jon Jones.
I mean, I might be bugging, but I don't think, if I'm going to lose my money, I'm going to bet on the GOAT. And people like that ring rust stuff. Nah, dude, GSP, we had the same issues, and look what happened. He came in, looked like he never lost a step.
I mean, look at Tatiana.
He moved up away. And by the way, Jon Jones is moving up. Jon Jones, when he bloated up to when he cut down to 205, he was walking around at 235.
Yeah.
So you're telling me he's just walking around now, maybe at 250, 245, anywhere between 240 to 250.
Yeah.
255.
How much you think he's in a way?
I would say 245, 250.
I agree.
I'd go there.
But 245, I think.
When he rehydrated up for fights, he was like 220, 230.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. Like, it's not going to be a big difference. And, people are like, oh, well, look at his physique from the pictures they released. Look at his brothers. Look at Chandler Jones. Look at Arthur Jones. They're not like the poster boys for peak fitness. Yeah, and they don't look shredded.
This is not a bodybuilding competition.
It's not. No. It's not. Chandler, and by the way, Chandler Jones, one of the best linebackers in NFL football. He's built the same way as John Jones.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear that. Oh, he looked like he got off the couch eating donuts. Some people's bodies just respond to muscle a little differently.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
I mean, look at his calves.
Oh, yeah.
They're never going to get blown up. He's always going to look like he has stick calves.
Knock DC out with him.
Yep.
Knock DC out with him. And DC, that was the first time DC's been stopped.
Yeah.
So, no, I like the overs are blown up in this fight, bro.
Are they?
They're blown up. Do you want the real? I might take this fight to go under 3.5. I don't think it's a bad bet.
What's the under 4.5?
They don't even have it available.
It might be up top.
Yeah, under 4.5 is plus 125. Wow.
Under 4.5 is plus 125.
I don't think the line is blown up enough for me to take the bet, but I think John's going to come in and make a statement. I really do. I think John, this is the thought you forgot fight on the card. And I'm not trying to discredit Cyril in any way. I'm not. He is a good fighter, man. The thing is, fight IQ issues, his ability to deal with wrestling, and John Jones is by far a much more superior wrestler and grappler than Francis Ngannou. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
At least he was on top.
Oh yeah. And listen, he's
John Jones is crafty on
he's
top.
gotten taken down. Yeah. His DC took him down, and then he's able to scramble, flip DC over, and get back up to his feet.
Yeah.
John Jones is a guy who would not settle for being on bottom.
No.
That's why the Curtis Blades fight is so interesting.
And I don't think Cyril has the is capacity the right word? Maybe the capacity to hold them down, to be honest. Either.
No, I don't see it.
Besides weight.
And you want the real? I don't see it. This guy has Arthur and Chandler get on top of him in camp, and he gets up.
I think Cyril's best way to win is probably to try to keep this standing and try to just poke and prod.
Yeah.
John Jones, but I don't think John Jones even allows that, to be honest.
Nope. And I agree. And I think
he might frustrate him on the feet again with the oblique kicks and all the variety of kicks that he has, and then you're right. Probably catch a kick, bring him down.
Yep.
Beat him up on the ground.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I'm feeling the John Jones, but I don't know if he finishes him. Maybe he does. Maybe 4th, 5th round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see the Gustafsson situation where he just holds him on the floor long enough, and then Cyril is kind of tired, doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And he just smashes him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. I think Cyril's a little more competent on the floor than homeboy. What's his name? I just said his name. Gustafsson.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I don't think Cyril's going to be completely outclassed in the grappling initially. I think as the fight goes on, he will get outclassed because it's going to be the positions, and it's exactly what John said, and the fact that he said he's afraid of this fight. I like that.
I think
I like the honesty, man, and you need fear to win fights, man. I just do.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think the grappling probably does come a little late. Only because maybe John Jones is afraid to gas out in the beginning as well.
Yeah.
So again,
this fight's gonna be slow for the first 2 rounds.
Cyril Gane could probably steal the first 1 or 2 rounds, and then I can see John Jones
turning it up.
3rd round,
turning it up, just like he did in the Dom Reyes fight.
Just to pace himself, because I mean this is a new body for him.
Yeah.
Fighting at
thing is
maybe around 145. I mean 245, 250.
Right.
I mean,
but he's also been conditioning his body for the last 3 years for this. Yeah. And apparently the word is he hasn't been messing around. He's been partying and stuff, but not like.
I'm sure he's partying.
I'm sure, but like he's been committing to the work.
Yeah.
And you should see his workout videos. They're pretty insane, dude. Like he's swimming around, and people are like, oh, he's injured because it's high impact. No, dude, swimming is great cardio for you, man.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, like I do question his cardio. I do question his punching power at this division. That's why I keep saying I think DC style translates better to this division. But I do trust his fight IQ, and I do trust his ability to figure it out.
Yeah.
As well as his grappling. I trust all of it. I like John Jones. I think he's either gonna win or he's gonna stop him. He's gonna stop him.
I agree with you.
He's gonna make a point. And
you convinced me.
Yeah, I think he's gonna make a real point and a real statement in this fight, and I don't see any other ways around it. But anyway, guys, but I don't know how you guys like us. How do you like us now? That's the end of this 4th episode. Well, not even the end, because we still have a boxing bet that we have to talk about, but that is predetermined. Brendan Figueroa is fighting this weekend. He's a nice up-and-coming prospect. We will definitely let you guys know more or less like how we feel about him and where he's at in terms of the matchup.
Okay.
But outside of that, this podcast is a wrap, unless you got anything further to say.
I mean,
John Jones or die?
I don't know if I want to go John Jones or die, but I let you get it off your chest, man. You on a roll. You was hot.
Oh, it's hot today,
I
man.
let you spit your spit because you was preaching to the choir over here, brother.
Big GSP vibes for this fight, man. Oh, I'm worried. How's he going? And by the way, GSP moved up 15 pounds, man.
I mean, listen, if Cyril Gane wins, we're gonna be eating a hell of shit.
Oh yeah, and I'll eat it. But if I lose my money on the GOAT, I lose my money on the GOAT.
True.
You're gonna give me minus 168 odds on him? I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
160, I'm gonna take it. He's the GOAT. He's the best fighter ever. They say he's 26-1. He didn't lose that fight, man. That was a BS DQ, and that's it. So he's the best.
That's it.
But regardless, guys, we hope you enjoyed this podcast. Episode 4 in the books. Follow us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
For you YouTube heads, hit that thumb, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell. You already know for the YouTube.
And for all the audio listeners, we have Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts for you guys. So everything's available. Everything's up and running. Check out your homies. Give us a subscription. You guys do not get charged for that subscription, so do not be afraid to click that button. You are not going to get a weekly charge or a monthly charge in terms of those subscriptions.
It's all free 99, baby.
Free 99, baby. Help us out. Show us some love. We hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you guys win. We hope we win our bets. So if you guys mirror us, you guys win your bets. Love you guys. Peace out. Holla.